So I just wanted to say about these notebooks as well, I don't think I conveyed that clearly when we first handed them out, is when I'm going through the examples up here on the board, what I would like you to do is copy down the solutions to those questions in the notebook. That's why I've left lots of blank space. So you might have done it in your book to start with, that's fine, but this is the space where we're going to allow that for that working out. So that when we come back in hindsight, we've got recorded, how do I solve a problem like this? What's the process behind it? So all that space there is for you to write down things that you think are relevant from the class. You're welcome to just watch, all right? But you do need to fill this in at some point. So we're jumping over to slope now. Hopefully you've seen slope before on the Cartesian plane. We've talked about points. We've got distance between 2 points. We've got the midpoint. Now we're talking about slope. Now we use two words to describe the slope. We use slope or gradient. They mean the exact same thing. And that is how steep is a line. Okay, how steep is a line on the Cartesian plane. That's what the slope is. It's a measure of steepness. And so let's have a look at we've got a couple of dot points here. The first one is, the slope is, we use m, of course, intuitively. M, the slope, y step divided by x step. Okay? That's how we calculate it. And then we've got two other points about a horizontal line, which has a slope of 0, and a vertical line, which has a slope that is undefined. And we'll explore the second case, y, a bit later on. Okay, so y step divided by x step. Always going from left to right. So I'm going to write the answers up here. We need to find the slope of these lines. So let's look at part A. Okay, the x step, it's gone across two spaces. So the change in x is 2. So up here, remember, this was our first point. It's y step divided by x step. Okay, sometimes you might see it written like this. Delta y on delta x. Triangle is Greek letter delta. It means change. Change in y divided by change in x. So we have a change in x of 2. Alright, so if we put our formula here, at the bottom we're going to have 2. Alright, and we go, what's the y step? What's the change in y? Y has gone up 3. Y has gone up 3. So our slope of the first line is 3 on 2. Or 1.5. Generally, when we're talking about slope, we do prefer fractions, okay, rather than decimal. Oh, that's inconvenient. Just log back on. Okay, let's look at B. In B, we can see we have gone across 3 and up 3 as well. So our change in x is 3 and our change in y is 3. So that's our slope, but we should also write it in simplest term. Alright, in simplest form, 3 divided by 3, that's the same as 1, isn't it? It's 1 whole. We have a slope of 1. Alright, so as x goes across 1, y goes up 1. Alright, let's look at C. We can see in C, the change in x is 1. Alright, so at the bottom we've got 1, and the change in y is 1, 2, 3. Alright, so our slope is 3 on top of 1. 3 on top of 1, that's just 3. Okay, 3 divided by 1 is 3. So that's ABC. D is a vertical line. A vertical line has a slope that is undefined. Okay? That's a definition we're given up the top. Vertical lines, vertical columns going straight up and down, undefined. E, we're going across 3 and up 1. So x step of 3, y step of 1. If it helps, I can write things up here. 3, 1. So x step 3, y step 1. We can't simplify that anymore, alright? And I said we prefer to express that definitely as a fraction, because otherwise as a decimal it's 0.33 recurring. So that allows us to include every possible decimal place. E, F is a horizontal line, alright? And a horizontal line has a slope of 0. Of course it has a slope of 0. It's not increasing, it's not decreasing, It's 0. It's steady. It's going horizontal. Okay, very good. Let's do G. Now in G, all right, we always move from left to right. Always. In all of these, I've started here and moved across. So we always have positive x. Okay. Here our change in x is 1. From this point to this point, x has gone across 1. Alright, so our bottom is 1. But y, the y value dictates whether it's going up or down. X, always from left to right. Y, we can see has started here and it's gone down 3. It's gone down 3 units. And so for that reason, okay, we've got x is positive 1, y has gone down 3, so we have minus 3. Alright, minus 3 divided by 1, minus 3. Okay, last one, h. These are sort of all over the joint. H, we can see, starting from the leftmost point and working to the right, h has gone across 4. So our change in x is 4. And y has gone from there to there, it's gone down 3. So our change in y is 3. Let's explain that. So we have minus 3 on the 4. And I suppose, I'll give you full marks there, but the technically correct way to write it is that 3 on 4 is the value, 0.75, and the negative is out the front of the whole thing. Okay, you can assign it to one or the other, not both. Here it belongs out the front of the value. So let's have a look, right? If you can imagine slope like walking up a hill. If you're going to walk up this hill, you have positive slope. Okay, that had a slope of positive 1 on 2, 3 on 2, sorry, 1.5. Here we had a slope of 1. Here we had a slope of 3. All right. All of those have positive slope. And then here we had a slope of a third, and then we had a slope of 0. And then, if you're walking downhill, we have negative slope. Okay, so that's an important thing to remember. If you're walking uphill, positive slope. If you're walking downhill, negative slope. And if you're walking horizontal, there's no slope. There's no change. The slope is 0. Okay, so hopefully we've seen that before. That's all we're going to work through today. So that's enough to get into the questions on 11C.1. So write down our notes there, and then have a go at the questions for 11C.1. Maybe just one more thing really quickly. Some of you have probably seen it already, but in the back of the linear equations booklet is answers to the stuff you are working on. So feel free to check your answers at any stage as we're going along.